Hi there, friends. My name is Kimberly White, and I'm a librarian here at Broward County Libraries. I'm really excited to tell you one of my favorite stories today. I'm hoping that you'll learn it with me, and then you'll hope to retell it to your favorite grown-up or friend. So the first thing I'd like to start with is, because it's story time, I'd like to start with the song called Do You Know It's Story Time? And first we're going to make a little rhythm or a pattern, and we're going to go pat, clap, tap. Pat, clap, tap. Pat, clap, tap. Do you know it's story time? It's story time. It's story time. Do you know it's story time? In our library or in your home or wherever you are right now. Big drum roll. So grown-ups, when we were doing that, we were just making a quick pattern. You can change that pattern. You can add pat, clap, snap. You can do any sort of thing that works best for your kiddo at their developmental age. And so when we practice patterns, we're actually beginning some early math concepts. So give it a try. Okay, so what I have with me today is my felt board and some felt, because I'm going to tell a story about a turnip. So this is a folk tale. It's from Russia originally, but it's been told very many times in lots of different ways. The really cool thing about a folk tale is that once you learn it, you can then end up changing parts if you want, or you can kind of do your own twist. So this is my version of the turnip. And these are my little felt pieces that I made, so I'm going to get them all ready. All right. So there once was a man, and when he walked, it kind of sounded like this. Crick, crack, crick, crack, crick, crack. Can you do that with me? Crick, crack, crick, crack. And more than anything, he wanted to grow some turnips. He loved turnips. And so he dug a hole, he planted some turnip seeds, and they started to sprout a little and then a lot. And when he saw how big his turnip plant had grown, he was so excited. This is no ordinary turnip. This is going to be a great, big, enormous turnip. He got really excited, so he went up to his turnip, and he held onto the end of the plant leaves, and he held really tight, and he pulled. Humph! Can you help me with that? And he pulled. Humph! And he pulled. Humph! But the turnip, it would not come out. So he put his hands on his hips, and he said, fee, fi, fo, fout, this turnip won't come out. And along came a woman, and she was walking along, and she said, let me help. So the woman held onto the man, and the man held onto the turnip leaves, and together they pulled. Are you ready? Humph! And they pulled. Humph! And they pulled. Humph! But the turnip, it would not come out. So together, in a really loud voice, they put their hands on their hips, and they said, fee, fi, fo, fout, this turnip won't come out. And along came a little girl, and she said, let me help. So the little girl held onto the woman, and the woman held onto the man, and the man held onto the turnip leaves, and together they pulled. Ready? Humph! And they pulled. Humph! And they pulled. Humph! But the turnip, it would not come out. So they put their hands on their hips, and together they said, fee, fi, fo, fout, this turnip won't come out. But along came a little dog, and the dog said, let me help. So the dog held onto the girl, and the girl held onto the woman, and the woman held onto the man, and the man held on the turnip leaves, and together they pulled. Humph! And they pulled. Humph! And they pulled. Humph! But the turnip, it would not come out. So they put their hands on their hips, and together they said, fee, fi, fo, fout, this turnip won't come out. And along came a little kitty, and the kitty said, let me help. So the kitty held onto the dog, and the dog held onto the girl, and the girl held onto the woman, and the woman held onto the man, and the man held onto the turnip leaves, and together they pulled. Humph! And they pulled. Humph! And they pulled. Humph! And they pulled. Humph! But that turnip wouldn't come out. So together they put their hands on their hips, and they said in a really loud voice, "Fee, fi, fo, fout, this turnip won't come out." And along came a little mouse. And the mouse said, "Let me help." But this time, all of these people, the man and the woman and the little girl and the dog and the cat, had been working so hard, they just laughed at the little mouse, and said, "What can a little mouse like you do to help us with this big problem?" And the mouse said, "You never know." So the mouse held onto the cat, and the cat held onto the dog, and the dog held onto the little girl, and the little girl held onto the old woman, and the woman held onto the man, and they held onto the turnip plant, and together they pulled. Humph! And they pulled. Humph! And they pulled. Humph! And because they worked together, wouldn't you know that finally that turnip did come out. And it was no ordinary turnip. It was a great, big, enormous turnip. And there was enough for all of them to cut it up and make turnip stew and turnip soup and turnip pie and all sorts of things of the turnip. And that is my version of the turnip. So I don't know if you've seen a turnip before, but a turnip is a vegetable that grows under the ground. It's a root vegetable like potatoes or carrots. And my grandpa loved turnips, and so we would have them all the time. And so in this story, in my version, they all work together. All of these different characters work together to end up pulling out this turnip. What else do you think they could make with the turnip? Turnip stew, turnip pie. What else could they make, I wonder? So a folk tale, like I said, can be told many different ways. So that was my version, but the turnip is a story that's been told a lot of different ways, and we have these all available from Broward County Library on Hoopla. So we have Grandma Lena's Big Old Turnip, which is a different version with different characters, and then the gigantic turnip, which has a lot of people helping to grow the turnip. There's also some other versions on Hoopla as well, so we'd love for you to check those out, and then you can come up with your own version of the turnip to tell. So I hope that you'll try to read one of those stories and learn a little bit more about the turnip, and maybe you can tell your own story to friends and grown-ups. And now I have a little song that I like to do when I say goodbye. And you need to make a few motions for this. So you need to have your alligator hands ready. You need to hug yourself like a teddy bear, and then you need to make like a butterfly hand. So it goes like this. It goes, "See you later, alligator, in a while, crocodile, take care, teddy bear, and goodbye, butterfly." Friends, we miss you. We hope to see you soon at the library. Bye.